What's going on YouTube? My name is Dope Gaming CQ and you're watching a video for Scenario 2 Bad Moon Falling. Everybody who knows their Sentinels lore knows what this is all about. Obviously we have Baron Blade in the corner there. He's going to try to pull the moon into the earth using the Terra Lunar Impulsion Beam, and we're going to try to stop him from doing that. Now, I just want to give a quick shout out to Arcane Wonders, Greater Than Games, Richard Lonius, and the Sadler Brothers for this dope game. I absolutely do love this game, as some of you guys have expressed in the comments. I think the game is beautifully done in both the design and the miniatures, as well as the cards. The gameplay is awesome, and it definitely makes me feel like I am in the Sentinels of the Multiverse universe. I really do want to thank everybody for all the love and support. As of this recording, there was 500 plus views and 20 plus subs, I think 23 to be exact, and almost 100 hours of watch time for the Scenario 1 video that I posted a few days ago. And 20 subs may not seem like a lot, but it does mean the world to me. I didn't even think I was going to get one sub when I posted that video. I was merely doing it for the community. So 23 subscriptions is amazing for me. I do want to thank everybody for subscribing. I would really like to reach 500 likes because it does give me more access to new features for my channel, like memberships and things like that. So if you do enjoy my videos, please, once again, like and subscribe. And because this channel is dedicated to growing the community, I do want to inform you guys that there is another playthrough video out right now from Meet Me at the Table. The guy's name is Colin, and he's really good with explaining the rules and things like that during his playthrough. So I really don't want to make this about competition. I want to point people in the right direction to the best content available for this game. So if you get the time, swing on by. He does have a playthrough video with different heroes too. And I do want to mention that at the end of the first video that I made, there was a mistake in the rule interpretation. I did mention retaining damage across scenarios, and that does not occur. Injury to heroes is mentioned after chapter 2 in the rewards section. And I will show you what I mean after the video. Alright guys, so we're going to get right into the gameplay. Once again, this is Scenario 2, and the name of the scenario is Bad Moon Falling. I'm continuing with the same 3 heroes that I've been using, and that's Wraith, Bunker, and Legacy. I'm going to try to make this video a lot quicker than the last one. We're going to jump straight into the scenario setup, since everybody should already be familiar with the basic setup. I already have everything set up the way it should be set up for the scenario. So as you can see, all the henchmen are where they're supposed to be. We have 6 Justice Rules the Night cards set up to the side, and this is indicated in the scenario setup for this scenario. You also want to have each hero spend 1 ability point. Now, when you finish the first scenario, you should have opened the first envelope with the number 1 marked on it, and it would have cards that look like this. The cards inside of the envelope are your upgrade cards, and on the top right hand corner they're going to have a point value, and you're going to use that to put one of these cards inside of each hero's deck that participated in the last scenario. The next step is the scenario step, and this scenario has no unique set of steps. So we would skip right through to the Mastermind. You would place Baron Blade's Vengeful Inventor card next to the map, and place the Mobile Defense Platform card next to it. Place the MDP token on Revo Corp Headquarters, number 5, with Baron Blade's figure on top. And we have done all of that. So here are his cards. This is his villain card, and right here is the Mobile Defense Platform. We're going to go over each one of these villain cards very shortly. And right here is Baron Blade in number 5, Revo Corp Headquarters. After you finish that step, you want to set up the villains. It says place the following villain cards next to the map, And I showed you earlier, we already did that. And place each figure in the indicated location. You're gonna place Fright Train in Port of Megalopolis number 30, Glamour in Woodchuck Grove, and Ambuscade in the Meg Conference Center number 22. So there's big old Freight Train right there in Port of Megalopolis number 30. We have Glamour in 25, Woodchuck Grove. And we have Ambuscade in 22, the Meg Conference Center. Then after you set up all the villains in their locations, you're going to draw 2 scheme cards and resolve steps 1 through 3, ignoring villain movement. Then shuffle the reveal card and all Justice Rules the Night cards you set aside earlier into the deck. So we have our Justice Rules the Night cards right there. We're gonna go ahead and draw 2 scheme cards and see what we get. All right, and the first scheme card says it wants 1 blue henchman on 19 as well as a Mastermind token. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. 1 henchman in 19 and a Mastermind token as well. Now I do want everybody to keep in mind when a Mastermind token is placed as a result of a scheme card, you are going to move Baron Blade to the location where the scheme card designates it. However, in this situation, it does say you're going to ignore villain movement for these cards. So you're going to disregard any villain movement when it comes to the beginning steps of this scenario. The next step is 2 yellow at 21. So we're going to go ahead and put those 2 yellow henchmen at 21. And the last step here says to move 1 green henchman and move the non-Mastermind villain only if there are 3 henchmen present at that location. However, once again, we're going to ignore that. So we're going over to location number 20 and we're gonna place a henchman there. All right, so it looks like we're getting loaded with Mastermind tokens. Number 11 is going to require a green henchman and a Mastermind token. So we're gonna go ahead and place 1 green henchman on number 11 over here, as well as a Mastermind token as well. We are then going to step 2 and put 2 blue henchmen on 19. So location 19 did have 2 blue henchmen already there. We added 1, and I do want to let everybody know that when this occurs during the setup phase, you are not going to cause any overflows. So we're going to ignore the overflow for this specific situation. And then the last step here says to place 1 yellow henchman in 23. So we're gonna go ahead and place a henchman here at the sporting complex. Keep in mind for these 2 scheme cards, we're only resolving steps 1 through 3 and we're not resolving the bottom of these cards. Now after we're done resolving these cards, we're going to shuffle them back into the deck along with the Justice Rules the Night cards that we just set aside earlier. All right, then in each villain's location, including the Mastermind, you're gonna add henchmen of their color until there are 3. And we've already went ahead and did that in the beginning of the video. So we have 3 henchmen in Ambuscade's location. We have 3 henchmen in Glamour's location. We have 3 henchmen in Freight Train's location. And we also have 3 henchmen in Baron Blade's location already set up. So we have quite a task ahead of us. Looks like we have quite a few locations that are filled up. After the henchman setup, we're going to stack 4 blue, 4 green, and 4 red Anarchy tokens on the HQ board. In each non-Mastermind villain's location, you're going to place 1 Anarchy token of their color. So we already went ahead and did that as well. Right there are the tokens set up in the token board. You're going to set up the red, green, and blue. You're going to leave these empty. And then you're going to set up an Anarchy token in each one of the villain's locations. Step 8 says to place 1 bystander token on each of the following: the Kanta Sporting Complex number 23 and Wyandotte Community Ferry Station number 17, which we have already done. Right there is 1 bystander token at the sports complex and the other one at number 17 over here. After that, we are going to place 1 Mastermind token on each of the following: Revo Corp Headquarters number 5 and the Old Seaport Museum number 24, which we have already done. So number 5 and number 24. Number 5 is Baron Blade's location and number 24 is the Old Seaport Museum. So yeah, we have 4 Mastermind tokens on the board currently. We're going to have to clear those out very quickly. And the last step is the Mastermind track. You're simply going to place the plot tokens on spaces 4, 7, and 10, as well as the Mastermind marker on start. So right here we have on 4, 7, and 10, the plot tokens. Those are the ones that look like little buildings with fire coming out of them, as well as the Mastermind tracker itself at the start. Now this scenario objective can get very tricky for those who are a little new to this. It says Baron Blade is protected by his mobile defense platform. Until you destroy it, you cannot deal damage to him directly. If the MDP is destroyed and Baron Blade is defeated, the heroes win. However, you got to be careful, because once the MDP is destroyed, you will only have one shot to defeat Baron Blade before he activates his Terra Luna Impulsion Beam. After any fight with Baron Blade, if the MDP is destroyed but he is not defeated, the heroes lose. So you only get one shot to beat him after that. The good news is he doesn't have that much HP to work with. The bad news is that you need to take out the mobile defense platform first. So we're going to focus on the mobile defense platform card. It does show here that the mobile defense platform does have 20 HP. There are effects that take place with this platform that you have to follow. While the mobile defense platform MDP is in play, Baron Blade and the MDP always move together. Any damage that will be dealt to Baron Blade is dealt to MDP instead. When a non-Mastermind villain is defeated, the power pack they carry that feeds the MDP is destroyed, dealing 7 damage to the MDP. If the damage on the MDP equals or exceeds its durability, immediately flip this card. So what's going to happen here is you have to defeat the mobile defense platform first in order to make it easier to defeat Baron Blade. And in order to do that, you would have to defeat the non-Mastermind villains first. And each time you defeat a non-Mastermind villain, it will deal 7 damage to the mobile defense platform. Moving back to Baron Blade's card, it says here, Baron Blade, Mastermind, Vengeful, Inventor. He has a durability of H plus 1, which H equals the number of heroes in the game plus 1. So he's going to have a total HP or durability of 4. His movement ability, Master Plan, states when a Mastermind token is placed, Baron Blade moves to its location. When Baron Blade moves, the MDP moves with him. If it's still in play, in parentheses, place 1 Anarchy token of any color in his destination and deal 3 damage to all heroes there. His defense ability is Highest Ground. While the MDP is in play, all damage to Baron Blade is dealt to the MDP instead. If the MDP is destroyed, immediately flip its card and end this fight, ignoring Baron Blade's after attack ability. And then his after attack, Terra Lunar Impulsion Beam. If Baron Blade is defeated, the heroes win. If the heroes attack Baron Blade directly but did not defeat him, they lose. Moving down the line to the non-Mastermind villains, we have Fright Train, Engine of Destruction. He has 10 durability, as you can see there. His movement ability is Plow Through. When Fright Train moves, he moves by the shortest route to his destination, dealing 2 unblockable damage to each hero in each location that he enters. Place 1 Red Anarchy token in his destination. If there are multiple shortest routes, the heroes choose. His defense ability is Locomotive Helmet. When a hero rolls an attack on Fright Train, they subtract -1 from each die. His Counter-Strike ability, Unstoppable Force, says after all attacks are rolled, each attacking hero suffers 2 unblockable damage. And then his after attack, Shake It Off. If Fright Train is not defeated, he heals 1 damage and moves to a random location. Up next is Glamour, the Mysterious Madame, and her durability is 7. Her movement ability is Carnival Trap. When Glamour moves, place 1 blue Anarchy token and deal 2 damage to each hero in her destination. Now, if there are none, you're going to move 1 hero there and they will suffer 2 damage. Her defense ability, Voices and Visions. After a hero rolls an attack on Glamour, they may discard 1 ability card. If they do not, Glamour blocks 1 damage for each odd number rolled. Her Counter-Strike, Maze of Mirrors, states, after all attacks are rolled, each attacking hero that rolled more even numbers than odd suffers 2 damage. And lastly, we have her after attack, Conundrums and Curiosities, which says if Glamour is not defeated, she moves to a random location. Each hero there rolls 1 die. For each even number rolled, Glamour heals 1 damage. For each odd, Glamour heals 2. And lastly, we have Ambuscade, Superhuman Hunter. His movement ability on the hunt. When Ambuscade moves, place 1 green Anarchy token and deal 3 damage to each hero in his destination. He has 8 durability. His defense ability is Armed to the Teeth. When a hero rolls an attack on Ambuscade, they discard 1 ability card for each 1 or 2 they roll. His Counter-Strike ability, L'Ambuscade. After all attacks are rolled, each attacking hero suffers 1 damage plus 1 per attacking hero. His after attack, the Most Dangerous Game. If Ambuscade is not defeated, he moves to a random location. After he places a new Anarchy token, he heals 1 damage per Anarchy token in his location. So we're going to begin with Chapter 1, and there is an extra rule here. Seeds of Chaos. When a hero resolves a Mastermind token, they must first choose to either suffer 1 damage or discard 1 ability card. The Chapter 1 objective: defeat any 2 non-Mastermind villains. So as I mentioned in the comments section of the last video, I did kind of cut out, and I hope I'm not cutting it out this time, but at the very bottom of the page, of each page, it's going to have the objective that you're trying to reach, as well as the other prerequisite in order to turn the page. It says here, only turn the page when the chapter objective is complete or the Mastermind track reaches 4. So always look at the bottom of the page in order to check your prerequisites to move forward to the next chapter. At the top of every chapter, it is going to always show you your justice rewards, which you would be able to cash in your justice cards in order to gain a benefit. This one in particular says you may discard a justice card from your pile in order to roll an additional dice when fighting a villain. And at the very bottom here, it shows your end of turn villain phase. Each henchman in your location deals 1 damage to you. Draw 2 ability cards and draw 1 scheme card and fully resolve it. All right, and we have all 3 of our heroes set up at Freedom Tower to start. And our hero boards are all set up with their personal life cards facing up. One thing I would like to point out, in your play area, you do now want to draw that first special card for each one of your heroes. So each one of my heroes all have a special card for this scenario. Once again, in the very first scenario, the tutorial, they do not want you to draw a special card, so you don't draw special cards for that scenario. However, for each following scenario, you are going to follow the regular rules, which tells you to draw a special card as well as a justice card for each hero. And I've done that here. We have Team Counseling for Wraith, and for her justice card, we have Aliens Among Us, which we will have to defeat 5 yellow henchmen. For Legacy, we have Alien Technology, and we have To the Rescue as our special and justice cards. And then for Bunker, we have Staunch Resolve, as well as Night Patrol. Now, Staunch Resolve says here, play at any time, heal all damage from yourself and up to 2 other heroes in your location. For his justice card, it is Night Patrol. I believe we had that in the first video, but I'll read it over real quick, briefly. Take to the rooftops, streets, and alleys to instill fear in the criminals of the city. We're basically going to remove 1 henchman of each color in order to get that reward. For the Alien Technology justice card for Legacy, it says assist the scientists at Revo Corp HQ in deciphering the alien tech. While at Revo Corp headquarters, which is where Baron Blade is, with no henchmen present, take a justice action and roll 3 dice to test tech. On 2+ successes, you crack the alien code and resolve this card. Legacy special card that we have is To the Rescue. Play on your turn, move to the location of a bystander token and remove that token and draw a bystander card. And then for the Wraith, her special card is Team Counseling, which says play at any time. Each hero may choose to discard any number of cards from their hand and draw that many ability cards. All right, and of course, to begin the game, you want to make sure each one of your heroes draws 4 cards, and I have done that. This time around, I tried to make it a little more visible. Although once we start accumulating a lot of cards, it's probably going to be a little more difficult to display them, so I do apologize. My table doesn't have enough room to display all of the cards. Once we reach about 12 or more cards, it's going to get a little bit more difficult. We're going to start the game with Wraith's turn, and before we do anything, I'm going to start off with the Team Counseling special card. So the Team Counseling card once again says play at any time. Each hero may choose to discard any number of cards from their hand and draw that many ability cards. So we're going to use that now. We're going to discard it, and we're going to discard as many cards as we like in order to draw that many. So the reason for this is mainly because of Bunker. I want to try to get more of these Omni Blast cards, and there's a reason for that. So I'm going to get rid of all of these critical overload cards because we're not going to need them just yet. I will discard 3 cards and I will draw 3 cards. All right, so we ended up getting 3 satellite intels in a row. I feel like I shuffled this pretty good, but apparently not. So it looks like we have 3 satellite intels in place of the 3 critical overloads that I just discarded, and 1 Omni Blast still. So the reason why I want the Omni Blast is I want to get Bunker over to this location here, and we're going to try to work on Glamour right away. That was the plan, but it didn't work so far. Hopefully during Bunker's turn we can get better luck. And these are the cards that we have for Legacy. We have 2 Bolster Allies, we have 1 Heroic Intercept, and 1 Flight. I'm going to discard 1 of the Bolster Allies and draw 1 card. I got Inspiring Presence, so I will put that with the rest of my cards. And for Wraith, it looks like we're just going to keep what she has as well. Everything that we have currently in hand seems like it'll work pretty well for her for the time being. We're going to then move on to her personal life ability. Once per turn, move any number of heroes from one location to any other location, the chauffeured limousine ability. So we're going to go ahead and do that now, and we're going to move Bunker over to the location with Glamour in it. We are going to move Legacy in the location with Fright Train. And we're going to leave Wraith right where she's at Freedom Tower, in order to use her other personal life ability. And we're going to do that now. The personal life ability here, Recover, Montgomery Industries R&D. Once per turn, if at Hero HQ number 15 or Montgomery Industries, draw 5 ability cards, choose 1 to keep, discard the rest. So we chose to keep 1 card out of the 5, and that card was the Combat Prowess, the red one. I always like to keep these in hand in case I do decide to fight any of the non-Mastermind villains. I already have these in hand to start deactivating some of their abilities. And that action did cost an action token, so we're going to use an action token in order to complete the action. Now we're going to flip over to her hero form, and we are going to take a move action over here to where Ambuscade is in location number 22, and we must use an action token for that as well. We are going to use the Smoke Bomb ability card. Play during your hero phase. Interact with a token in your location, ignoring enemies and other tokens present. Roll +1 die on all attribute tests you make. So we're going to interact with the Anarchy token here. Our first Anarchy card says some unsavory characters are moving door to door, extorting money from small businesses. Roll 4 dice to test either mind or body, and we're looking for at least 1 or 2 successes or 3 successes for the best result. All right, so we're going to roll the dice now and see what results we get. Looks like we got 2 4s and 2 1s, but we do get 1 additional dice roll as a result of the Smoke Bomb ability, and that does give us our 3 successes. So it does say here, that you round up the criminals and deliver them to the police. Remove any 4 henchmen from adjacent locations. Conveniently enough, there are 3 yellow henchmen in location number 21 and 2 yellow henchmen in location number 23. We're going to get rid of the 3 henchmen in location number 21, and that is actually going to put 3 on the justice card that we have for the Wraith. And then we're going to remove 1 here from the sporting complex. So in order to track that justice card, we're going to just use a yellow die showing the number 4, and all we need is 1 more in order to complete this justice card. Now I do want to bring to your attention the text here on the smoke bomb card. It does say, play during your hero phase, interact with a token in your location, ignoring enemies and other tokens present. Now the thing I want to focus on here is where it says interact with a token in your location. Interacting is considered an action. Now I'm not sure 100% whether or not this smoke bomb actually cancels out that you have to use an action token in order to interact, but the fact that it does say to interact with a token, I'm just going to do the interact with an action token. So we're going to use an action token in order to complete that action. All right, I'm going to spend another action token to perform an attack action on the henchman here in the Med Convention Center. All right, and it came up to a 6, a 4, and a 4. We get to remove all 3 of those henchmen from that location, because there are no other actions that I feel I can do that are going to make any difference. I'm just going to try to build my hand. So we're going to move to the villain phase now, and for those who don't already know, the Wraith has stealth, so henchmen do not attack you during the villain phase of your turn. She does not have any henchmen in her location anyway, so she wouldn't get attacked either way. We're going to draw 2 cards, grappling hook, and another smoke bomb. So this is what our hand is looking like now, and gosh, I really feel like I shuffled the heck out of these cards, but apparently not. And we're going to draw our very first scheme card. This card wants 1 blue henchman and a bystander at 25. So we're going to go ahead and look for 25, which is over here. Looks like we're going to get our first overrun. So this henchman is not going to go onto location 25. It's actually going to go onto Glamour's card. So she's going to get an extra durability. So her health or her durability is now 8 instead of 7. All right, so it looks like we were going to put some additional henchmen in location number 19. However, there already is 3 henchmen there. We can't trigger another overrun. However, another henchman is going to go on to Glamour's card. Now for the other 2 locations, location number 20 and 26, we're going to add a blue henchman in each one of those locations as well. So location number 20 just got filled up, and location number 26 has 2 henchmen there. So it's getting a little crowded in this area. We are now going to place the bystander token on location number 25 as instructed. And the next step says 1 green henchman on 26, which is the South Island Freedom that we just added 1 due to the overflow. So it looks like the villains are targeting this one little corner of the map. And then step 3 of the scheme card wants 1 yellow henchman and a non-mastermind villain to move to 17. So we're gonna go ahead and place a henchman on location number 17. And just so that people are aware who are watching this video, this yellow icon only means to move the non-mastermind yellow villain. So it does not make you move the mastermind. Baron Blade only moves when a mastermind token is placed. Now we're going to move to the final step, obligation. The active hero must draw a personal task card. And currently the Wraith is the active hero, so we're going to draw a personal task card. And the personal task card is going to cover the first 2 special slots there. So I won't be able to draw or play any special cards as long as her personal task card is covering this area. All right, so we're off to a pretty awful start so far. It doesn't look good, but I did say that I was going to go through this win or lose. So let's see if we can get out of this situation and clear some of this craziness on the board. I am going to move over to Paul Parsons, aka Legacy. We're going to move on to his turn, and we're going to start off with his Sense Danger ability once per turn. Look at the top scheme card, then discard it or place it back on the top of the deck. So we're going to go over here and we're going to take a look at the scheme card. We definitely do not want this scheme card because it is showing here that there is a Mastermind token to be placed. So we're going to go ahead and discard this scheme card, and hopefully maybe the next one is a Justice Rules the Night. We're definitely going to need it. We're going to go ahead and flip over to hero form, and our first action we're going to use in order to play an ability card, and that ability card is Bolster Allies. It says here each hero may deal 1 damage or draw 1 ability card. So we're going to go ahead and discard that, and each character is going to draw a card. All right, so we drew our cards. So the next step is we're going to take another action and we're going to attack the henchmen in our location. There are 3 henchmen currently, so we're going to go ahead and roll 3 dice plus the legacy die and see if we can get them out of there. All right, so we did get what we needed. We got 3, we got another 3, and we got a 6. So that will eliminate all 3 of those henchmen. So we're gonna go ahead and eliminate these henchmen here. The next action we're going to take is we are going to interact with this Anarchy token here. So we're gonna go ahead and draw a card from the Anarchy pile. And it shows here, a new street drug that grants temporary powers is creating chaos throughout the city. Roll 5 dice to test body or mind. We're obviously going to test body as it's our best attribute. So we're going to roll 5 dice, and we need, at the very least, 2 to 3 successes. All right, so we rolled the dice, and this is what it's looking like. We got a 6, a 5, a 6, and 3 2s. So we only got 3 successes there. It does show here, you disperse the drug dealers but do not find their supply. Place 3 red henchmen in any location. So we're just going to go ahead and place 1 in our location. We're going to place another one at City Hall since it says any locations. And we'll just place another one right next to us here at Dodger Beach. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to use this special card to the rescue. It says play on your turn, move to the location of a bystander token and remove that token and draw a bystander card. So we're going to go ahead and discard this. And we're going to move over to location 17 over here and remove this bystander token and draw a bystander card. All right, we got Brandon and Stephanie, the newlyweds, on an unforgettable event. All heroes roll 2 dice to test spirit. For each success, that hero draws 1 ability card. So we're going to do that right now. For every bystander card, you actually have to do that immediately as soon as you draw them. So we're going to start with the Wraith. We're going to roll 2 dice and test her spirit stat of 4+. And we got 2. So we're going to be able to draw 2 ability cards, being that we got 2 successes. We're going to draw 2 ability cards. Let's take a look and see what we got. We got another smoke bomb. And we have a utility belt. Over to Legacy, we're going to roll for his stat, which is also a 4+. And he rolled 2 1s. I am able to roll 1 additional dice, which is the Legacy die. And I just rolled 3 1s. So I don't get any extra cards with Legacy. And we'll move over to Bunker. His spirit stat is 5+. So let's go ahead and see if we can get a 5+. Well, look at that. He got a 5 and a 6. So he gets to draw 2 cards as well. So we're going to go ahead and draw Bunker's 2 cards. We got another critical overload. And we got another Omni Blast, and that's what we needed. Now that we use the reward for the bystander, this bystander card does have 2 icons here. So we're gonna cash in with these 2 icons for a special card. All right, and the special card that we got was Hero's Intuition. Play when a scheme card is drawn. Move to any location listed on it, then discard it without resolving it. So this is going to help us greatly with the terrible start that we had. All right, for my next action, I am going to use this card here, Flight, which says move yourself and up to 1 other hero in your location to any location. So we're gonna go ahead and move over here to Dodger Beach, and we're going to try to get rid of those henchmen there. Last action token is going to be used to attack those henchmen, as I said. So we're going to get 2 red die as well as the legacy die and see if we can get rid of those. All right, the roll was 2 4s and a 2, and that concludes the hero portion of Legacy's turn. We're going to move on to the villain phase. There are currently no henchmen in Dodger Beach to attack Legacy, so we're going to draw 2 cards. We got Bolster Allies, and we have Flying Smash. After drawing 2 cards, we are now going to draw our scheme card, and let's take a look and see what we got. All right, so this is a scheme card that we drew. And we're going to go ahead and use Hero's Intuition to stop that scheme card from activating. It says play when a scheme card is drawn, move to any location listed on it, then discard it without resolving it. So we already got it in the discard pile. We're gonna go ahead and use the Heroic Intuition, or the Hero's Intuition card. And we're going to move over to location number 20. As that is the green location there. All right, so up next is Bunker, and we're gonna start right off with Tactical Planning and choose 1 hero to draw 3 ability cards and keep all cards of 1 color. You may move to any location matching the color they choose. I am able to choose myself as that hero because it does say choose 1 hero to draw 3 ability cards. It does not specify. So we're gonna go ahead and draw our 3 cards and see what we get. All right, we got all of the satellite intel. Somehow I did not shuffle these cards that great. We have Critical Overload, and we have Snapshot Missiles. So we're gonna keep the reds, and we're gonna get rid of the satellite intel. And we are not going to move because we are currently where we wanna be, where Glamour is, and we're gonna immediately use 1 action here. First, before anything, before using that action, we're going to flip over to hero form. Then we're going to use the action in order to use his ability card, Omni Blast. And the ability card, Omni Blast, states discard 1 other Omni Blast card to remove all henchmen from your location and deal 1 damage to a villain there. So we're going to discard the other Omni Blast in order to deal 1 damage to a villain and the henchman in that location. So we're gonna get rid of all 3 of these henchmen, and we're gonna deal 1 damage to the villain. But if you notice here, Glamour does have 2 henchmen on her card, so we are simply going to remove 1 of those henchmen from her card. And our Night Patrol Justice card requires for us to remove 1 henchman of each color. So we are going to display 1 blue henchman here to show that we removed 1 of those henchmen from that location. The next action that I'm going to take is for Snapshot Missiles. Remove all henchmen from an adjacent location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these 3 blue henchmen here from location 19. Blue is not my strongest color between all 3 of my heroes, so that is why I decided to remove those 3 henchmen instead of the ones from these other locations. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a satellite intel. Play during your hero phase. Look at the top scheme card, then discard it or place it back on the deck. So this effectively works the same as Legacy's personal life ability. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to the scheme deck and take a look at the next card. And I do not like this one either, so we're gonna take this and we're going to discard it as well. The next thing that we're gonna do from here is we are going to use an action to move, and we're gonna move over into this location here, and we're gonna interact with that Mastermind token, and we're gonna use an action token in order to do so. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Before we look at the number is 2, so we're gonna refer to the book and find out what number 2 does. All right, if you remember, it does say here, Seeds of Chaos. When a hero resolves a Mastermind token, they must first choose to either suffer 1 damage or discard 1 ability card. So we're going to discard one of our many satellite intel cards in order to interact with that. And number 2 says, Vengeance is mine, make a choice. The Baron's misdirections have cost you precious time. Choose one, control the chaos. Deal with the Baron's goons even if it gives him more time. Advance the Mastermind track +1. Or chase the Baron. Don't let the Baron out of your sight. Even if his goons run rampant. Draw 1 scheme card and resolve steps 1 through 3. I really feel like the first option is better, so we're going to deal with Baron's goons and advance the Mastermind track +1. So we're going to go ahead and advance the Mastermind track. We are discarding our satellite intel card, and we are going to remove the Mastermind token from here. And it looks like we don't have anything else that we can actually do that'll have any relevancy. So we're gonna go ahead and refresh our tokens, and we're going to be in the villain phase. There are currently no henchmen in our location, so we're gonna draw 2 cards. We got an Omniblast, and we got another Full Throttle. All right, we're going to draw a scheme card, and Justice rules the night for this turn, so we don't got to worry about any of the villain actions for this turn. All right, so now it's Wraith's turn. We're gonna flip over to personal life form, and we are going to use her ability, Chauffeur Limousine. We're gonna spend 1 action token in order to use her recover ability in order to draw those 5 cards and choose 1 color to keep. So of the 5 cards, we kept 2 from the shadows and we discarded the rest. And this is what we're currently looking at right now in our hand. We have 11 cards. I'm going to flip Maya Montgomery over to the Wraith, and we are going to use 1 action token in order to move. We're going to move from location 27 over to location 13. We're going to spend another action token in order to use an ability card. We're going to use one of the from the shadows, which says move up to 1 location and remove 1 henchman there. And we are going to move into location number 9, and we are going to remove the henchman here, and that completes our Justice card. So we're going to go ahead and use another action token in order to resolve the Justice card, which says take a Justice action in any location to resolve this card. And we're going to go ahead and put this in our Justice rewards and draw another Justice card. And we drew into Freedom 5 Unite. If you watched the last video, that was one of the starting Justice cards that you receive. So you should be familiar with it already. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a grappling hook, which says play during your hero phase, move 1 location. If you played at least 1 other grappling hook this turn, you may move +1 location. And we're going to move from 9 over to 8. And then we're going to use our other grappling hook, which allows you to move +1 location if you played at least 1 other grappling hook this turn. We are going to move 2 locations. So we're going to move from 8 to 2 and then 2 over to 1. And that gets us over to the location number 1, where I can take a personal task action. I'm going to use an action token here to take a personal task action in order to resolve her personal task card. And we're just going to discard it over here. And that completes Wraith's turn. We're going to go ahead and refresh her tokens. There are henchmen in the location, however she has stealth and she will not get attacked by the henchmen. We're going to draw 2 cards, 1 utility belt and 2 another from the shadows. Then we're going to draw from the scheme deck, and let's see what we got here. All right, so it wants one red henchman and a bystander at 10. We're going to put a red henchman at location 10 and a bystander token. It wants two yellow henchmen at location number 17. And right there is location 17. It does overflow, so we're going to take the following henchman and we are going to add it to Baron Blade's card. All right, for the third step, we're going to add one green henchman on location number 24, and if there are 3 or more, we're going to move the green non-mastermind villain. So at this old Seaport Museum, we're going to add one henchman there, and there is only 2 henchmen on that location, so the green villain will not move. The final part of this scheme card is running out of time. Place this card face up near the mastermind track. If there are ever 3 running out of time cards face up, discard them and advance the mastermind track +1. So we're going to go ahead and put this over to the side here. This is where I usually put the running out of time cards to remind myself. Back over to Legacy, we're going to go ahead and flip over to his personal life form and use his Sense Danger ability. Once per turn, look at the top scheme card and discard it or place it back on top. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the scheme card. I don't like it, so we're going to discard it. We're going to go ahead and flip over to hero form now, and we are going to spend an action token in order to use our Bolster Allies ability card, and each hero is going to draw 1 card. We got From the Shadows once again for Wraith. We have another Bolster Allies from Legacy, and another Omni Blast. We are going to spend another action token, and we're going to use the Bolster Allies card that we just drew for Legacy. Wraith is going to draw a card, and she got Micro Targeting Computer. Legacy, Surge of Strength, and Bunker, Full Throttle. All right, we're going to spend another action token, and we're going to stay in the location that we're at to make an attack roll on the 3 henchmen that are currently in that location. So we're going to roll 2 green and 1 blue, as well as the legacy dice, and let's see if we can remove those henchmen from that location. So I rolled a 5, a 4, a 2, and a 1. The 5 is to remove the blue henchman. The 4 is a wild, so it could remove any color, but we're going to remove a green one. Then we're going to spend another action token in order to move from location 20 into location 26, and we're going to perform another attack action. So we're going to use up our last action token to attack these last 3 henchmen here, and the same thing applies. So we're just going to roll those dice. So we got 2 4s, a 6, and a 3, and we have 3 successes, so we'll be able to knock out all 3 of those henchmen from this location. Now that ends Legacy's turn. We're going to refresh his tokens. We are going to draw 2 cards because there's no henchman in his location. We got Flight, and we have another Surge of Strength. We are now going to draw a scheme card, and we got another Justice Rules the Night, thank goodness. Moving over to Bunker, we're going to flip over to Personal Life and use Tactical Planning. So we're going to draw 3 cards for Legacy. Let's take a look what we got. We got Flight. We have another Surge of Strength and another Inspiring Presence. So we get to keep 1 color. We're going to keep the Surge of Strength and get rid of the others. We're not going to use the second part of his ability because we're going to stay right in that location because we want to hit him with an Omni Blast. So I'm going to flip over to hero form. I'm going to use an action in order to use the Omni Blast ability card. We're going to discard the other Omni Blast as well, and we're going to remove these 3 henchmen in this location. One of them is going to mark our Night Patrol card, and we just need a red and a green left. And we are going to deal a damage to Baron Blade. However, Any damage that would go to Baron Blade is going to go to the mobile defense platform instead. So we're going to add that damage over to the mobile defense platform. Next thing we're going to do is play a satellite intel card, and we're going to take a look at a scheme card. This one actually will move the green villain, so we're going to go ahead and discard this one. I'm going to use another action token in order to play Full Throttle. So draw 3 ability cards. We're going to draw 1. We got an adhesive foam grenade. That's actually what I was looking for, exactly what I was looking for. We have another Full Throttle. And we have another adhesive foam grenade. So this is going to be able to remove some Mastermind tokens for us. And that's exactly what we were looking for. So my next action, I am going to use an action token in order to use the adhesive foam grenade. Remove 1 Anarchy or Mastermind token from your location. So we're going to remove this Mastermind token from this location, and we are just going to simply put it back in the pile. We're going to use 1 more action token in order to use another Full Throttle to draw 3 ability cards. So let's take a look at what we got here. We got a Snapshot Missile. We have another Full Throttle. And we just drew out our deck. We got the very last Omni Blast. Yeah, that Full Throttle card is an excellent way for Bunker to cycle through his deck and get the cards that you need. I definitely love using that card, and we still have 3 of those left. So we're gonna go ahead and do that again. We're gonna use another Full Throttle and use our very last action token in order to draw 3 more cards. We got another Omni Blast. We got another Full Throttle. And we got another Omni Blast. So we have 4 Omni Blasts in hand, and we're going to do some damage to a villain in our next turn. So we refresh our tokens, and there are no henchmen in that location. We're going to draw our 2 cards. We got Omni Blast and another Snapshot Missile. So I want to put focus on our hand currently. We have 13 cards, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In this scenario, when you draw 2 cards during the villain phase, you are going to end up with more than 12 cards. So this is not where you would discard down to 12. That step is actually before this step here. So if you ever find yourself with more than 12 cards during this step, you do not need to discard down. All right, we're going to draw our scheme card. And it is showing here that we want a yellow and a bystander in number 13. So we're going to put a yellow in 13 with a bystander token. Then we want 2 reds in 10. I feel like we already did that before. Yes, we did. So this one's going to overflow. So we have a red in 10, and we are going to add this henchman to Fright Train. Then we are going to add a red henchman in each of the adjacent locations. Take note that location number 4 is not considered an adjacent location to number 10, as it is joined by a point. Then step 3 wants 1 red henchman at location number 29. So we are placing 1 henchman there. It does not cause a movement from the red non-mastermind villain because there are not 3 at this location, and that's what it is requiring. We are going to put this over to the side because we already have 1 running out of time card. We have 2 now. If we get 1 more, it's going to advance the Mastermind track by 1. Back to Wraith, we're going to flip over to her personal life and use Chauffeur Limousine. So we're gonna go ahead and move Bunker over to this location here, number 17, where the 3 yellow henchmen are, and there's a reason for that. We're gonna go ahead and move Legacy over to Baron Blade's location. And the reason for that is to take care of his Justice card. And as always, we're just going to move Wraith right back over to Montgomery Industries. We are going to spend 1 action token in order to use her recover ability and draw those 5 cards. We got Grappling Hook, so that caused Wraith to draw her deck, so we're going to continue drawing. We got another Grappling Hook. We got a Smoke Bomb. Another Grappling Hook. And a Utility Belt. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep all of the red cards. We're going to get rid of the other ones. So Smoke Bomb and Utility Belt we're going to get rid of, and we will keep the 3 grappling hooks that we got. All right, so we're going to go ahead and flip over to Wraith now. And as you can see, we're completely loaded with cards in our hand. We have 15 cards, so we definitely have to make use of those cards right now. We're going to use an action token here to play Utility Belt. It says either move to any location with an Anarchy, Bystander, or Mastermind token, or search your ability deck for any card and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So we are going to use the first option, and we are going to move from this location over to Woodchuck Grove. And the Smoke Bomb, it says play during your hero phase, interact with a token in your location, ignoring enemies and other tokens present. Roll +1 die on all attribute tests you make. So we're going to use the action token for the interact. We're going to interact with the Anarchy token, and let's take a look and see what we get. All right, so we're going to draw the card. This card says, strange sounds can be heard all over the city, and hundreds of citizens have fallen into a trance. Roll 5 dice to test the spirit stat. And we're looking for at least 2 successes, but 3+ successes for the best result. All right, so we're gonna roll 5 dice, and we're going to test the spirit stat. However, we do get 1 extra dice from the Smoke Bomb card. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3 successes. So looking over here, it says you discover the source of the attack and manage to dispel it. Deal 1 damage to any villain. So we're gonna go ahead and deal that damage over to Glamour, which removes the henchman that she has on her card. We are then going to spend another action token in order to interact with this bystander and draw a bystander card. We got one with a penalty. We have Kyle Woods. At the end of your turn, you must discard 1 special card if able, and we do not have any special cards. So we are going to cash this in for a special, and we ended up getting Red Alert. Play at any time, move any number of heroes to Hero HQ number 15. Those heroes each draw 2 ability cards, and we're actually going to use that right now. So we're going to use that to avoid the effect from the bystander to discard this. And we're going to use this right now to actually complete this Justice card right now. All right, we moved everybody to Freedom Tower. Now we're going to each draw 2 cards as a result of that special card. I got Grappling Hook and Micro-Targeting Computer for Wraith. For Legacy, we have Inspiring Presence and Bolster Allies. For Bunker, we drew Full Throttle again and Satellite Intel. So our Justice card says, while all heroes are at the same location, take a Justice action and choose a color. Each hero may discard up to 2 ability cards of that color. If the number of cards discarded exceeds the number of heroes, resolve this card. So we're going to use an action token in order to do a Justice action. All right, Legacy is going to discard Surge of Strength, and just to clarify, it is up to 2 cards of that color. So we chose yellow. We are going to discard Micro-Targeting Computer from Wraith, and we'll discard 2 Full Throttle from Bunker. We discarded 4 cards altogether. So this has been resolved. It says here, each hero may discard up to 2 ability cards of that color. If the number of cards discarded exceeds the number of heroes, we have 3, we discarded 4. We will resolve this card. So we will put that in the Justice rewards and draw another Justice card. And we got Restore Order, which requires us to remove any 2 different color Anarchy tokens. So we are going to refresh our tokens. There is a henchman in the location. However, even if there were henchmen in the Freedom Tower location, they would not deal damage to any character in Freedom Tower. We now have 14 cards in our hand, so we're going to discard down. So we're going to get rid of a couple of grappling hooks here. And then we draw 2 cards. We got a grappling hook back. And we got it from the shadows. Now we're going to draw a scheme card. And it looks like we got our 3rd running out of time card. So we're going to resolve that shortly. The first step here is 1 green henchman as well as a bystander on number 3. So we're going to go ahead and put a green henchman over here on number 3 as well as a bystander token. Then we're going to place 2 yellow on number 9. And number 9 already has 1 red henchman there. We're going to place 2 yellow henchmen on number 9. And then we are going to resolve the 3rd step, which is 1 red henchman onto location number 30. And it does say here that the red non-mastermind villain would move to location 30. However, he is already in location number 30, so he's actually not going to move. His movement ability still triggers. So the only thing that occurs off of his movement ability here is the red anarchy token in his destination, meaning that he is not going to move. He won't be able to deal 2 unblockable damage to each hero in each location that he enters because he's not going anywhere. So we're going to go ahead and add an anarchy token onto his location. And then we're going to resolve the running out of time portion of this card. We now have 3 running out of time cards in this area. So we're going to discard these cards and we're going to resolve it by advancing the Mastermind track up 1. Legacy's turn, we're going to flip over to Personalize and use Sense Danger. We're going to draw a scheme card and we are going to discard that. And we are going to use 1 action token here to play Flying Smash. And if we can get some focus here, all right. Move to any location, remove all henchmen, and deal 1 damage to each villain and other hero there. Place 1 anarchy token of your choice there. So we're going to move Legacy over to Glamour's location, and we are going to perform the Flying Smash into that location. There are no henchmen to remove. We are simply going to deal 1 damage to Glamour. And we are going to place an anarchy token of any color in our location. So we're going to just place a red one. We're going to use an action token in order to interact with the anarchy token. And we have a red one right here up top. We're going to go ahead and draw that. And this one says, Blade Battalion soldiers have kidnapped a citizen and are fleeing on the rooftops. Roll 3 dice to test body, and we're looking for at least 1 success or 2+ successes for the better result. All right, so we're going to roll those 3 red dice along with the legacy die. And all were successes, so he's a 3+. Each one of these were a success. It says you defeat the goons and rescue the captives, draw 1 bystander card and gain the rewards. So we're going to go ahead and draw the bystander card, and it's Dale the Casual Gamer. Roll 3 dice to test body and draw 1 ability card for each success. All right, our body stat, of course, is 3. So we're going to roll 3 along with the legacy die, and we're going to test body. So we got a 3, a 5, a 2, and a 1. So we're going to draw 2 cards. First card is Flight. And the second card is Inspiring Presence. So we're going to go ahead and spend 1 action token in order to take flight. And we are going to move Legacy from this location back over to the Mastermind's location, number 5, to take care of what we were going to take care of initially, which was the Alien Technology Justice card. While at Revo Corp headquarters, with no henchmen present, take a Justice action and roll 3 dice to test tech. On a 2+ success, you crack the alien code and resolve this card. So we're going to go ahead and take a Justice action. And we are going to roll 3 dice to test tech. We get our Legacy die. All right, and that was our roll. We got a 5, a 6, and 2 2s. So luckily for us, we actually did succeed at this. Our tech stat is 5+, not very good. However, we only needed 2+ successes. So we're gonna go ahead and we are going to resolve this card. The reward is immediately draw 5 ability cards, then flip this reward. So we're going to go ahead and flip the reward and draw 5 ability cards. We got another Surge of Strength. We got a Fortitude. We got another Surge of Strength. We got another Fortitude. And we have another Flight. And that draws us out. We're going to go ahead and shuffle up. So we're at 14 cards in our hand right now. We have quite a bit of cards. So we're going to go ahead and try to bring that down. I am going to use one of these, a Bolster Allies. Each hero may heal 1 damage or draw 1 ability card. That's going to cost me an action token. And that will be the last action token that we use. So we're going to go ahead and draw a card. We drew into another Bolster Allies for Legacy. We drew into a Utility Belt for Wraith. And we drew into a Satellite Intel for Bunker. We're going to go ahead and refresh our tokens and end our turn from here. Now we're going to have to discard down. We have 14 cards. So I'm going to discard 2 of these Inspiring Presences. Then the draw step, we're going to draw 2 cards, 1 and 2. Moving on over to the scheme card, let's see what we got. All right, we have 1 blue henchman at location number 25, and we are also going to place a Mastermind token as well in that same location. So that's where Glamour is, and we're going to put a Mastermind token there as well. The next step here is 2 green henchmen in location number 11. So let's go ahead and place 2 at 11. This is going to actually overrun. We placed 1, and the other one is going to go on to Ambuscade's card. We're going to add 1 henchman in each of the adjacent locations. Location 17 already has 3 henchmen, so we're going to add another henchman to Ambuscade. The last step here is 1 red henchman on number 4 and move the red villain only if 3 henchmen are present. And currently there is 1, so we're going to add that 1 into number 4, and the red villain will not move. The last part of this says rapid healing. Each hero may either heal 1 damage or draw 1 ability card. So we're going to use the second option and draw 1 ability card for each. We have Smoke Bomb for Wraith. We have Surge of Strength for Legacy. And we have 1 Satellite Intel for Bunker. Over to Bunker, we're going to move over to our personal life, and we're going to use his tactical planning. And we are actually going to use that with Legacy. So he's going to draw 3 cards. We got Flight. We have Bolster Allies, and we have Bolster Allies. So we ended up with 2 green and 1 red. So I'm going to keep the 2 green Bolster Allies cards, and I'll get rid of the flight card. And we are going to use the second part of this ability, which says you may move to any location matching the color that they choose. So we're gonna go ahead and move Bunker over here to Glamour's location. Now we are going to flip over to hero mode. We're going to spend 1 action token, and we are going to use an adhesive foam grenade. And it says remove 1 anarchy or mastermind token from your location. That will remove this one here from Glamour's location. We have a boatload of Omniblast cards, so this is the next step. We're going to go ahead and use an action token here, and we are going to discard both of these in order to deal 1 damage and remove the henchman in this location. So we are going to deal 1 damage to Glamour as well. We are going to use another action token for another 2 Omniblast cards in order to deal another damage to Glamour. So she's going to have 3 damage now to her, and she only needs 4 to get defeated. I think we're gonna go for the defeat very shortly. We're gonna go ahead and use an action token here, and we are going to use the snapshot missiles, remove all henchmen from an adjacent location. So we're here in location number 25. We're going to remove this green henchman from location number 20. And the reason for that is to place it here. So we need 1 red henchman in order to complete this night patrol card. Before we end our turn, we're going to use maybe 1 or 2 of these satellite intel cards. I'm just going to discard that. We're going to look at the scheme. Running out of time. We don't want that, because it's also going to move the green villain as well. Let's go ahead and use another satellite intel card. We're going to look at the top card, and this one actually wants to place 2 blue henchmen on 15 Freedom Tower. We want to avoid that as well, so we're going to go ahead and discard that one too. All right, one thing I did overlook is Bunker does have an ability called Recover Ammo Drop that he can actually do in either form, whether hero or personal life, which allows him to draw an ability card. So I'm going to use this last token here in order to activate his Recover, and we're going to draw an ability card to end our turn. We ended up with critical overload, so we're going to go ahead and refresh our tokens and end our turn from here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 cards. We are going to draw 2. There are no henchmen in my location. All right, and both of those were critical overload cards. And we're going to go ahead and draw a scheme card. And luckily, thankfully, we got the Justice Rules the Night. Back to Wraith, we're going to go ahead and flip over to her personal life and use her Chauffeur Limousine ability. And with her ability, I'm going to move Bunker over to location 17, and I'm going to move Legacy and Wraith into the location that contains Glamour, and we're going to try to do a tag team on Glamour and knock her out. Jumping out of personal life mode now, we're going to go into hero mode. We're going to spend an action to make an attack on Glamour. We already have the cards that we're using. I am also going to dedicate 3 blue cards with Legacy into this attack. We are also going to discard one of our Justice cards to add another dice to this roll. Now we do also have Combat Prowess, which is going to allow us to play when any hero in our location attacks a non-mastermind villain, cancel their defense or counter-strike. So both of Glamour's defense and counter-strike abilities are pretty nasty. However, the defense we can deal with. The counter-strike, however, that one looks like we want to deactivate it. It says after all attacks are rolled, each attacking hero that rolled more even numbers than odd suffers 2 damage. So we're going to deactivate her defense, which basically all we got to do is discard 1 ability card in order to deactivate that one as well. So we're going to go ahead and give it a roll right now. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, We have 5 successes, and she has 4 health left, so it looks like we defeated Glamour. All we have to do here is discard one of these cards in order to deactivate her defense. That way she cannot use her defense ability. Being that Legacy also committed 2 cards, these cards are also lost, so they will also be discarded, as well as the cards that I used for Wraith. Glamour had 3 damage, therefore she had 4 health left. We did 5 extra damage to her, so she will be defeated and her after attack will not go off either. So we're going to go ahead and flip her card, and we're going to receive the rewards for Glamour for defeating her. And I'm going to go with my go-tos. If you watched the last video, I usually just go with the draw 2 special cards and the draw 2 justice cards. So we're going to draw 2 special cards and keep 1. This one is Righteous Fury. Play on your turn, remove all henchmen and anarchy tokens from your location. I think we're going to keep that one. The next one is Never Give Up. Play anytime a hero rolls dice, that hero may re-roll any number of those dice. So it looks like we're just going to keep the other card because we have plenty of henchmen that we have to get rid of here. And then we're just going to draw 2 justice cards and place them in the justice rewards pile. And since Legacy also participated in this attack, we are going to do the same for him. We're going to draw specials and choose 1. So we have police support, play at any time, choose any one location and remove 1 henchman, 1 anarchy token and 1 mastermind token there. I think this is what we're going to keep, but let's take a look at the other one. And this one is Quiet Night. Play at the start of any villain phase. The active hero does not draw any scheme cards. So this is a tough one. I don't know which one I want to pick here. You know what? I am going to go with the Quiet Night card. So we're going to take the Quiet Night card instead, and we will discard the police support. And then we're going to draw our 2 justice rewards and place them face up. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to use our grappling hook ability card, and that's going to move us 1 space. So we're going to move over to location 26. We are going to use an additional grappling hook card. This is going to allow us to move 2 additional locations. So 1, 2. And we're going to use our last grappling hook ability card to do that one more time. So we're going to move her from location 21 over to location number 14. And what that does is it puts us in a prime location to use this justice card here, which says immediately remove any 4 henchmen from adjacent locations, then flip this reward. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to get rid of 3 from here. Or actually, we'll get rid of 2 from this location. Then we're going to get rid of 2 from location number 9. We are then going to use an action token in order to use her utility belt. And we are going to move into a location that contains an anarchy token, which is location number 30. And then we are going to immediately use our special card, which says play on your turn, remove all henchmen and anarchy tokens from your location. So we're going to remove these 2 red henchmen from this location, and we're going to remove this anarchy token from the location. Now, this actually is going to trigger this card here, restore order, remove any 2 different color anarchy tokens. So we're going to go ahead and mark this with a token to let us know that we have done that once already. We need a different color anarchy token to complete that justice reward. We are then going to use another utility belt. So we're going to trigger that with an action token. And we are going to move from this location over to this location because there is a bystander token. And we're going to use another action token in order to make an attack roll in this location. So we're going to attack the 2 green and 1 red henchmen here, and we're going to see if we can knock them out. All right, and the results did knock out all three of them. We got a 6 for the red, we got a 3 and a 5 for the green. So we're gonna get rid of those henchmen there. And we are going to use an action token, the final action token that we have, in order to interact with that bystander. We have Miska, the goodest girl. Keep this card face up in your play area. After you roll dice, you may discard this card to re-roll any number of them. All right, so that was a super active turn by Wraith this go round. We're gonna go ahead and refresh her tokens. There are no henchmen in her location. We're gonna draw 2 cards. We're gonna draw out and have to shuffle. So we got Smoke Bomb for the first card. All right, we shuffled our deck. We're gonna draw our second card, and that card is Micro Targeting Computer. Over to the Scheme card. We're gonna draw that. We got two green henchmen on 8. So we're gonna place 2 green henchmen on 8. Then we have 1 blue henchman and a bystander on 18. So let's go ahead and throw that on 18 over here. Bystander is gonna go over here. And step 3 says 1 yellow henchman on 17. And it looks like we got another overflow, unfortunately. So this is actually going to add on to the HP for Baron Blade. We're gonna add this over to his card. And we are going to overflow the adjacent locations. So we cannot overflow number 11. Number 11 already has 3. So we're actually going to add yet another HP to Baron Blade, and that is not good. All right, then we add 1 over here to location 18 and 1 over here to location 24. So that location is filled up as well. We have this entire area filled up. We need to clean that up immediately. Last part of step 3 says to move the yellow villain. However, once again, this would be the non-Mastermind villain, not Baron Blade, the Mastermind. So this would not move Baron Blade. We do have a running out of time effect, so we're going to place this to the side. And if we get 2 more, we're gonna move the Mastermind track +1 once again. Legacy's turn, we're gonna flip over to Personal Life, and we are going to use his ability, Sense Danger. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Scheme card here. So the Scheme card is going to lay down a Mastermind token. We're gonna discard this. Let's flip over to Hero Mode. We're going to use an action token right away in order to use our Flight ability card. And we are going to move Legacy and fly him over to location number 8. And we are going to immediately use our Justice card here that says flip this reward at any time to remove all henchmen and anarchy tokens from your location. So we're going to remove all 3 of these henchmen. You're going to attempt to resolve a quiet moment, which says, once again, while at the Cathedral of St. James, no henchmen present, take a justice action, roll 2 dice, test spirit. On 1 or more successes, find comfort and resolve this card. We're rolling 2 dice to test spirit, and we also have the legacy die to see if we can get an extra boost off of it. All right, so we got a 4, a 3, and a 1. We got 1 success on that, and that's actually all we needed was 1 success. So we'll be able to resolve this card. We now currently have 4 justice cards in our justice rewards pile. We're going to use the action token for resolving this card because it does require a justice action. We're going to go ahead and use another action token, and we're going to use bolster allies, and we are going to draw a card for each one of our heroes. And the Wraith has a utility belt. Legacy will draw Flying Smash, and Bunker is going to draw Adhesive Foam Grenade. And it looks like we have 2 more copies of Bolster Allies in our hand. We're going to use both of them to draw 2 additional cards for each hero. So we're going to use both of these action tokens in order to do that. And Wraith is going to draw another utility belt. She is going to draw a combat prowess. Legacy is going to draw another flight and another bolster allies. And he just drew out of his deck. We're going to shuffle up. And Bunker is going to draw Omni Blast and a Satellite Intel. And he also draws out of his deck, so we're going to shuffle him up as well. Let's refresh his action tokens, and we're going to begin the villain phase. So there are no henchmen in his location. We're going to draw 2 cards. Over to Bunker, we're gonna flip over to Personal Life, and we are going to use his Personal Life ability, Tactical Planning, and we are going to draw 3 cards, and the Wraith is going to take advantage of that ability and draw the 3 cards. We have a grappling hook, we have another grappling hook, and we have a utility belt. Out of those 3 cards, we're going to keep the utility belt, and we are going to discard the other 2 grappling hooks. Then we are going to flip over to hero mode with Bunker, and we are going to make an attack roll on these 3 henchmen. So we're going to use an action token to roll the dice. And we got 2 out of the 3. So we're going to remove 2 of the yellow henchmen from that location. We are then going to use an action token in order to play our Snapshot Missiles ability card. And this is going to remove these 3 henchmen from this location. We will use another action token in order to move into this location, number 24, the Old Seaport Museum. We're going to make an attack roll on these 3 henchmen to try to take them out. So we're going to use an action token in order to attack these henchmen. So this roll is going to require 2 green dice and 1 yellow dice. And we got a 3, a 4, and a 5. We were able to successfully defeat 2 out of the 3 henchmen. The green dice that shows a 3 was unsuccessful. I needed a 4+ on that one. So we're going to remove 1 green and 1 yellow henchman from this location. And for my final action, I am going to use the adhesive foam grenade, and this is going to remove 1 Anarchy or Mastermind token from your location. So we're going to go ahead and remove this Mastermind token from this location. And that concludes Bunker's turn. We're going to go ahead and refresh the tokens, and we're going to move on to the villain phase, where the henchman is going to attempt to attack Bunker. However, Bunker's ability will block that damage and retaliate it right back to them. We have 11 cards left, so we don't have to discard any. We're going to draw 2 cards. We got the blast, and we got another blast. Now to draw a scheme card. And this scheme card is asking for 2 green henchmen in location number 26, which is right over here. 2 blue henchmen in location number 15, which is Freedom Tower. So Freedom Tower is full. We gotta definitely clear that out very soon. And 1 red henchman on number 1. So we're gonna place this on number 1, and there are 2 henchmen there. So the red villain will not move. And we're gonna move on to the green effect, which says on the move, each hero may move up to 2 locations. Everybody's going to stay where they're at because Wraith is up next, and she's going to basically move everybody. Before we do Wraith's turn, I do want to say I did forget to add the damage for when Glamour got defeated. Anytime a non-mastermind villain gets defeated, it's going to add 7 damage to the mobile defense platform. Wraith is up. We're gonna flip over to Personal Life, and we're going to use her chauffeur limousine. We're gonna move Wraith over to location number 11, We are going to move Legacy over to location number 15, and we're going to move Bunker over to location 22. I decided instead to move Wraith over to Montgomery Industries instead, and the reason is because we have a bunch of utility belt cards in order to get us over to that location afterwards. So we're going to use our personal life ability in order to draw the 5 cards with Wraith, or I'm sorry, with Maya Montgomery. So we're going to use an action token, and we are going to use her recover ability. And we decided to discard a grappling hook, and we are going to keep the rest. These are all from the shadows and 1 micro-targeting computer. For our next action, we're going to use an action token, and we are going to move. So we are going to move from Montgomery Industries over to the location 22 where Bunker is. We're going to flip over to hero form now and use an action token. And we are going to now use the micro targeting computer. Play at any time you are in hero mode. Roll an attack on all henchmen in an adjacent location. Add +1 to each die. So we're going to use an action token in order to make an attack roll on these 3 henchmen in the Freedom Tower. And we will need a 3+ in order to succeed on these rolls, as the ability card, the targeting computer, allowed for a +1 on each roll. All right, so we got a 2, a 6, and a 3, which means all of these were successes. Actually 2 of these are successes. This one is going to go to a 3. This one will go to a 4. And then this one remains the same. So it's a 6, 4, and a 3. We needed a 4+, so we only remove 2 henchmen from this location. I will then use an action token in order to use the utility belt, and we are going to move from location 22 over to location number 11, and we're going to do an attack on those 3 green henchmen using this last action token. It's going to be 3 green dice at a 3+. All right, and we got 2 4s and a 2. So 2 out of the 3 henchmen will go down. So we're going to refresh the tokens and move on to the villain phase. Wraith is in stealth mode. We're going to draw 2 cards. 1 grappling hook and 2 smoke bomb. Now we're going to draw a scheme card, and we got one with a Mastermind token. So it looks like we're going to be moving Baron Blade on this turn. So this card wants 1 green henchman and a Mastermind token on location number 3. We're going to go ahead and do that now. And Baron Blade is at location number 5. He is going to move with the platform onto location number 3. He would usually deal 3 damage to any hero that is in that location, but there is nobody in that location, thankfully. But he will drop an Anarchy card in this location as well, of any color. And since we need 1 more for the Restore Order, and the last Anarchy token that we removed was a red one, we're going to place a green one since it's easier for us. So we'll place a green one over here in Baron Blade's location. Legacy is going to flip over to his personal life and use his ability. We're going to draw a scheme card and take a look at it. This one also is going to This one also has a Mastermind token that we'll have to lay down, so we're going to discard this one. Then we are going to flip over to hero mode, and we're going to use his recover ability, which says once per turn, if at hero HQ number 15, draw 3 ability cards, and this can be performed in either hero or personal life. So we're going to draw 3 cards. 1, Flight. 2, Inspiring Presence. And 3, another Flight. Our first action, we're going to use an action token in order to play Flying Smash. So we're gonna go ahead and jump over to Ambuscade's location, and we are going to use the Flying Smash ability on this location. So Ambuscade is going to get a damage, and Bunker is also going to get a damage. We're going to remove one henchman from Ambuscade's card, and we're going to deal a damage to Bunker. The good thing is we have a Bolster Allies card in our hands, so we are going to use an action token, and we're going to use our Bolster Allies ability card. Wraith is going to draw a card, and she got yet another utility belt. Legacy will draw a card, and he got Fortitude. And Bunker, we're just going to simply remove that damage that we just got with him. And before I forget, Flying Smash does drop an Anarchy token, so we're going to drop a red one over here. While we're here, we are going to interact with the Anarchy token. So I am going to spend an action token in order to interact with that Anarchy token right now. The card we drew, a sniper on top of a building, is using citizens for target practice, 5 dice to test body, and we need 3 or more successes. So we're going to roll our dice with the legacy die. And we have 1, 2, 3 successes, 4 successes. Actually, this was a 4. So we got 4 successes. And we subdue the sniper and turn him over to the police, which means we'll draw 1 special card. And that card is, if we can get focus here, teleporter, play at any time, move to any location, and remove all henchmen there. So we are going to use the flight ability card, which is going to cost an action token in order to move from location number 22 over to location number 18, and we'll use our last action to interact with this bystander. So the bystander we got was a Lake and Dylan. Draw a justice card and place it face up in your rewards pile. So that's going to give us 5 justice cards face up in our rewards pile. And we are going to immediately cash in the bystander card here for a special. All right, so we're going to draw that justice card, and we're going to place it face up in our rewards. And we're going to draw a special card. We got buying time, play on your turn, reduce the Mastermind track by 1. So we're going to actually do that right now and discard this, since it's still our turn, in order to reduce the Mastermind track by 1. So we're going to move that from 2 over to 1. Then our justice reward that we just got, it says immediately remove 1 Mastermind token from the city, then flip this reward. So we're going to do that now. And we'll remove the Mastermind token here that Baron Blade just dropped. Let's refresh our tokens. And we are going to use the Quiet Knight, which says, play at the start of any villain phase, the active hero does not draw scheme cards. So we're going to discard that, and we're not going to draw a scheme card for this phase. So we are in a location where there are no henchmen, so no damage will be dealt to Legacy. We're going to draw our 2 cards. We have another Flight. And we have Bolster Allies. Back to Bunker. We're going to flip over to Personal Life and use his special ability. So we're going to draw 3 cards. We're actually going to use that with Bunker. So we got Full Throttle. We got another Omni Blast. And we got another Full Throttle. So since we have 2 Full Throttles already in hand, we're going to discard the 2 Full Throttles that we just got in order to keep the Omni Blast card. And we're going to flip over to hero side now. And we're going to use an action token in order to use the Omni Blast that we just got, along with another one, in order to make it work. We're going to deal another damage over here to Ambuscade. So that's going to remove the last henchman off of Ambuscade. Then we have 2 more Omni Blasts left in our hand. We're going to use those 2 in order to deal another damage over to Ambuscade. So he no longer has henchmen to protect him. He's going to take this damage straight on, and he's down to 7 health. In order to use that Omni Blast, we will have to use our second action. Then we're going to use a satellite intel in order to take a peek at the scheme card coming up, and let's see what we got. This one's going to drop a Mastermind token. We're going to go ahead and discard that. And let's use another satellite intel. The scheme card coming up is yet another one with a Mastermind token, so we're going to remove that one as well. I'm going to use an action token in order to go full throttle with Bunker and draw 3 cards. So we have an adhesive foam grenade. We have another full throttle. And we have a satellite intel. We're going to go ahead and use the full throttle that we just got. Spend an action token to draw 3 more cards. We got the snapshot missiles, which is what I was looking for. We got another satellite intel. And we're drawing out of our deck for another Omni Blast. For our last action, we are going to spend that action token in order to play the snapshot missiles that we just got, which will remove all henchmen from an adjacent location. And the reason why I did that is because we have a red henchman in this location here. Unfortunately, we can't use it in that location because it is not considered adjacent to number 22. So we are going to remove this henchman here. And it does complete his first justice card. He's been going pretty slow compared to the others. So we are going to resolve this card once we get an opportunity to take a justice action on his next turn. Let's refresh the tokens, and we are going to move on to the villain phase. We're going to draw our 2 cards. We got another Omni Blast and another Omni Blast. The scheme card wants 1 henchman at location number 7. That's right over here. It wants 2 green henchmen on location number 24. That's over here. And it wants 1 yellow henchman at number 5. And that's over here. This is another running out of time effect. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it over to the side here. Over to the Wraith. We're going to flip over to personal life and use her ability. We are going to send Bunker over to the location here with Fright Train. And we are going to grab Wraith and Legacy, and we are going to bring them over here in order to make an attack action onto Ambuscade. We're going to try to get rid of him next. All right, so we're going to flip over to hero mode. And I'm pretty confident about this, guys. I think we're going to be able to beat this. It's probably not going to take too much longer. We're going to take care of Ambuscade first. So we're going to make an attack action onto Ambuscade. And we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have 6 dice to use. However, we also have justice card that we can also use in order to give us 1 extra dice, so it'll be 7 dice. And we are also going to commit 4 green dice with Legacy along with one of his justice cards. We also still have this bystander card that's going to allow us to reroll any number of dice, so we're going to keep our eyes on that as well. And we also have a combat prowess that we're going to add on to this. Everybody knows how that works. We're going to cancel out an ability. So let's go ahead and look at Ambuscade's card. He has a defense ability that says armed to the teeth. When a hero rolls an attack on Ambuscade, they discard 1 ability card for each 1 or 2 they roll. And then his counter strike is Ambuscade. After all attacks are rolled, each attacking hero suffers 1 damage plus 1 per attacking hero. So what we're going to do is we're going to deactivate his counter strike. All right, let's go ahead and roll the 7 dice for Wraith to start off. And she needs a 3 or higher. We got 1 success. We have 2 successes, 3, 4 successes. So let's see if we can get those to be successes as well. We're gonna go ahead and re-roll using this reward. So we're gonna re-roll the 3 that we missed, and we got 1 more success. We do have this justice card here that says to flip this reward when you test mine to roll plus 2 dice. So we're gonna use that as well. And we're gonna go ahead and roll these dice. And those did come up as successes. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. And that will be enough to take out Ambuscade. Ambuscade does have an ability here that's called Armed to the Teeth, as we said earlier, which will make us discard 1 ability card for each 1 or 2 that we roll. So that we didn't deactivate, so we're going to discard 2 ability cards because we did roll 2 2s, and we'll just get rid of 2 from the shadows. So we're going to remove this damage since we defeated him. His after attack will not trigger because he was defeated. And since we defeated him, both Legacy and Wraith will once again be able to take 2 rewards. So we're going to start off with Wraith and draw 2 special cards and keep 1. So the first special is play at any time, team up, choose any 1 location and move any number of heroes there. And looks like we're going to keep that one just in case for last. The other card, I think we're just going to discard this one. And this is Tactical Strike. Remove all henchmen from any 2 locations. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to need that. Then we're going to draw our 2 Justice cards and flip them up in our Justice rewards. And same thing for Legacy. We're going to draw 1 and keep 1. We have Supercomputer, play on your turn while at Hero HQ. Remove any 3 Anarchy tokens from the city. I don't think we're going to keep that one. And the second one is Ambush. Play when a villain would move to that villain's current location, cancel their movement, and deal 1 damage. This one we are absolutely going to keep. All right, so we are going to add an additional 7 damage here to the mobile defense platform after defeating Ambuscade. So we have 7 more damage. We are going to use another action token here in order to use from the shadows. We're going to move 1 and remove 1 over here into Freedom Tower, and we'll remove the blue henchman that is in Freedom Tower. We are going to use an action token to move over to Baron Blade's location, and we are going to remove this anarchy token by interacting with it. That will also cost an action token. So we are going to draw an Anarchy card from the Anarchy deck, and the card says a threatening riddle has been delivered to Mayor Fremont. 4 dice to test mind, and we need at least 1 or 2 successes or 3 for the best result. And we got a 2, a 4, and 2 1s. So we only got 2 successes. However, I do have an Inspiring Presence with Legacy. So we're going to use the Inspiring Presence in order to re-roll all of those dice. So let's go ahead and re-roll these dice. All right, and that's much better. We got our 3 successes, 3, 4, and a 6. And for 3 successes, it says you unravel the riddle and gain insight into the culprit, deal 1 damage to the least damaged villain. And it's a toss-up between Baron Blade or Fright Train. Neither one of them are damaged, so we are going to remove a henchman from Fright Train. So I'm going to stop here real quick because we did complete Chapter 1 and we are now moving into Chapter 2. We did defeat 2 of the non-Mastermind villains, Glamour and Ambuscade. So we are going to move ahead and go to the chapter 2 effects and objectives. It is showing here the effect that they want us to keep in mind is Devious Traps. When any hero resolves the Mastermind token, they suffer 1 damage for each one they roll. And the chapter 2 objective is defeat all non-Mastermind villains. So in essence, we're just defeating Fright Train. There is a side quest with this chapter. The side quest is Computer Glitch. A strange signal is causing Freedom 5's supercomputer to malfunction. Place quest tokens on Chatham Country Club number 6 and the Cavern number 7. The heroes must claim both tokens to complete the quest. While in a location with a quest token, a hero may use an interact action and discard 1 ability card to claim the token. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to put 1 token on number 7 and 1 token on number 6. So right there is the Cavern, location number 7. And right there's the Country Club, location number 6. And in order to complete the side quest, both of those tokens must be picked up. All right. And going down the line here, we're going to go to the end of turn villain phase. This is an accelerated villain now. If anybody has played Marvel United, this is pretty much how it works. The villain is accelerating now, so the first 2 are obviously going to stay the same. However, the third step, draw 2 scheme cards instead of 1, and resolve only steps 1 and 3 and the event on each card. So we're going to skip step 2 for every one of these cards. And lastly, only turn the page when the chapter objective is complete or the Mastermind track reaches 7. So now we are trying to keep the Mastermind track from going to 7, but we've been doing a pretty good job at keeping the Mastermind track in check. And since we did remove this Anarchy token with the Wraith, it does trigger the Restore Order Justice card. So we're going to resolve that Justice card when we take a Justice card in any location. We're going to do that right now. We're going to use our action token, and we are going to perform a Justice action in order to resolve this card. We're going to grab another Justice card from the pile, and we got Not on My Watch. Now this one requires 2 Mastermind tokens. Let's go ahead and refresh our tokens. Wraith is stealth, so we're just going to draw 2 cards from the shadows and Smoke Bomb. And let's go ahead and draw our scheme card. So this card wants 1 yellow henchman at 23, as well as a bystander token. So we have 2 bystanders at location 23. And we want 2 red henchmen at 4. That's over here. All right, so 4 is over here, and that's going to overrun. So we are going to add another henchman to Fright Train, and then we are going to add a henchman in each one of the adjacent. And the last step wants 1 green henchman on number 11. So right there is number 11. We're putting the henchman there. The villain is not going to move because it is defeated, and we have rapid healing. Each hero may either heal 1 damage or draw 1 ability card. So we're all going to draw an ability card. Wraith is going to draw into Smoke Bomb. Legacy will draw a Bolster Allies. And Bunker is going to draw a Full Throttle. Legacy's turn, we're going to flip. We are going to use the Sense Danger ability and check a scheme card. This one is going to drop a Mastermind token, so we're going to remove that. Then we're going to flip over to our hero mode, and we're going to use our teleporter ability. It says play at any time, move to any location, and remove all henchmen there. So we're going to move over to location number 5, which is the Revo Corp headquarters, and we'll remove all 3 of these henchmen here. We're going to use an action token here in order to move into this location, and we will use another action token to make an attack action on those 3 henchmen. Let's go ahead and roll the dice. We got one success. We're going to roll the legacy die as well, which gives us 2 successes. So we're going to remove 2 of these henchmen. We're going to flip an action token for that attack. We're going to use 1 action token for our Bolster Allies ability card, so that way everybody could draw a card. Wraith is going to draw into Grappling Hook. Legacy got another Bolster Allies. And Satellite Intel for Bunker. We are going to spend an action token in order to use our Flight ability card. And we are going to move from location number 4 over to location number 1. And we are going to perform an attack over there using this last action token. So we're going to roll 2 red dice along with the legacy die. Let's see what we get. We got 3 4s. Our stat is 3+ on body, so we got all 3 of them. We're going to refresh our tokens and begin the villain turn. No henchmen, of course, at Legacy's location. We're going to draw 2 cards. It looks like we're going to deck out. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle these cards. All right, so the first card that we drew, if you didn't see it, was Inspiring Presence. And the second card we're drawing is Into a Fortitude. Now we're going to draw a scheme card. Let's see what we got. It was Justice Rules the Night, thank goodness. Back to Bunker. We're going to flip over to his personal life, and we are going to use his tactical planning in order to draw 3 cards. And we're going to do that with Bunker himself. We are going to draw into an Omni Blast, a Full Throttle, and another Full Throttle. So we're going to keep the Omni Blast and we're going to discard the Full Throttles. Then we are going to flip over to our hero side and we are going to use 1 action token in order to use the Omni Blast ability. We're going to discard both of these in order to use them. We already know how the Omni Blast works. It's going to deal 1 damage to Fright Train. So we're going to remove 1 of these henchmen off of his card. We use another action to Omni Blast him again. We have 2 more remaining. So we're going to discard both of those and deal another damage to Fright Train. All right, so he is now at 9 health. We are going to spend an action token in order to use our Justice action, and that's going to clear the Night Patrol Justice card. So we're going to put it in our rewards area and draw a new Justice card. And this one is Smuggling Crackdown. We just need to remove 5 red henchmen. So we have 2 action tokens left. We're going to use 1 to move and the next one to attack. So the one that we use to move, we're going to use to move into location number 24. And we are going to use the other one to attack these 2 green henchmen, which are not going to require a dice roll because the green villain has already been defeated. Then we're going to go ahead and refresh our tokens and begin the villain phase. What we're going to do is we're going to use this reward here. It says flip this reward at the start of any villain phase to prevent the active hero from drawing scheme cards. So we're going to flip the card in order to avoid drawing a scheme card. We are going to draw our 2 cards and just go straight into Wraith's turn. We are going to flip Wraith over to her personal life and use her chauffeured limousine. And we are going to send Legacy right next door to the cavern. We are going to take Wraith and we are going to send her over to location number 6. And we're going to take Bunker and we'll send him over to location number 23. Flipping back over to hero mode, Wraith is now going to use an action in order to attack the 2 henchmen that are currently in location number 6. And they both are going to get automatically removed because the villains of those colors are both defeated. And we are going to use another action token in this location in order to interact with the side quest. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And we also have to discard one ability card. So we're going to discard this smoke bomb in order to remove the side quest token. And we are going to add it to our play area for the Wraith. We are going to use this justice card here. It says immediately remove one Mastermind token from the city, then flip this reward. So we're going to use that in order to remove this Mastermind token on location number 11. And that actually removes all of the Mastermind Mastermind tokens from the board. So we have that all cleared out. We're going to go ahead and flip this over since we used it. We are going to use an action token in order to move into this location, number 11, and then we'll use another action token in order to remove those two green henchmen. So we're going to remove these two henchmen, and as we know, we don't have to roll for those henchmen to be removed. I'm now going to use this justice card, which says each hero may immediately search their ability deck for any card and add it to their hand, then shuffle their deck, then flip this reward. All right, so we got From the Shadows for Wraith, and she actually decked out by drawing that card. We have Flying Smash for Legacy, and we grabbed Omniblast for Bunker. And we're just going to forfeit our last action and move on to the villain phase of the turn. So we're going to refresh the tokens. We will draw our two cards. We got a grappling hook, and we have a combat prowess. Then we're going to draw a scheme card, and we got another Justice Rules the Night. I believe that might be the last one. All right, over to Legacy. We're going to flip over to his Paul Parsons side, and we are going to Sense Danger. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what the next scheme card is. This one doesn't look too dangerous, so we're going to place it right back on top. We do have to keep in mind that we do have to draw two scheme cards for the villain phase. I'm going to flip over to hero mode, and we are going to attack those two henchmen in location number 7. So we're going to get 2 red dice and the legacy die. And we roll a 3, a 4, and a 2. So we were able to dispatch those 2 henchmen. So we're going to remove them from the location. And now we're going to interact with the last side quest token. So we are going to use an action token. So here's the action token for the attack. And here's the action token for the side quest. We're going to remove the side quest and place it in our location, and we need to drop a card to do that. So we're gonna discard Inspiring Presence in order to resolve the side quests. So we now completed the side quest, and we can move on to finishing the chapter and trying to get Fright Train. The next action we're going to take is we are going to use the Flying Smash ability card. We already know how that works. Move to the location, remove henchmen, and place an anarchy token of my choice. So I'm going to move Legacy from number 7 all the way over to number 30, and we are going to use the Flying Smash ability in this location. We're going to add a red anarchy token to this location, and we're going to deal a damage to Fright Train. He now has 8 health left. We are going to use this action token in order to interact with the anarchy token that we just dropped. So let's go ahead and draw this anarchy card. And it says an actual dinosaur is rampaging down the street. There's no time, you can ask questions later. We're gonna roll 4 dice to test body or tech. Obviously we're gonna roll for body and try to get 2 or 3 successes. All right, so we have 3 successes. We have a 3, a 5, and a 6 on our body stat, which is a 3+. With 3+ successes, you are able to subdue the dinosaur and return it to the scientists at the zoo. Draw 1 special card. So we're gonna go ahead and draw a card here. And we got Supercomputer. Play on your turn while at Hero HQ number 15. Remove any 3 Anarchy tokens from the city. We're probably just gonna use that for an extra dice when we fight Fright Train. And then the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to bolster allies. So we're going to use our action token and draw cards. We're going to use this action token. We're going to draw a card. We drew into Flight for Legacy. From the Shadows for Wraith. And Satellite Intel for Bunker. And that's the end of Legacy's turn. We're going to move on to the villain phase. There are no henchmen in that location. We're going to draw 2 cards. We got Bolster Allies. And we have Inspiring Presence. And now we're going to move on to the Scheme card phase. And this is going to go a little differently because earlier in the video, I did accidentally skip the Scheme card phase. And as promised, I am going to draw 1 extra Scheme card. So he's actually going to get 3 Scheme cards on his turn. So the first one we already looked at with the Danger Sense, and it is showing that it wants 1 yellow henchman and a bystander on 28. So we're going to do that right now. A henchman and a bystander. Then we want 1 red henchman at 30. And that's where Legacy and Fright Train are. And then they want 1 blue henchman, and they want the blue villain to move on 18. However, the blue villain is defeated, so we're just going to add the henchman over here to 18. We actually are supposed to ignore the second one, so we're going to remove the henchman from number 30 and go right into the obligation. So we're going to give Legacy an obligation, and it is going to cover both of these cards, and we cannot use any of these cards until we fulfill that obligation. All right, the next card to resolve is a Justice Rules the Night. It does say draw no more Scheme cards. However, I am going to still draw a Scheme card, and I'm almost positive now that that was the last Justice Rules the Night. So here's the next Scheme card. And this one wants 1 red henchman on 16 over here. We're going to skip the second step and we're going to go straight to the third step, which wants 1 blue henchman on 15. And there it is on 15. And the last step of this card is asking for another obligation. So we're going to take another personal task card, and we are just going to place it in the last special slot there. And it looks like I did forget to replace the Justice card here for Legacy. So we're going to place a new Justice card for Legacy to resolve. Back to Bunker, we're going to flip over to his personal life, and we are going to perform the tactical planning, and we're going to use that for Legacy. So let's see what we get with Legacy. We got Bolster Allies. We got another Bolster Allies. And we got a Flight. So we're going to keep Flight, and we're going to get rid of the Bolster Allies cards. So we're going to discard the Bolster Allies. And we're not going to use the second part of his ability. We're just going to flip over to Hero Mode, and we are going to use an action token in order to attack the henchman over here in location 23. So we are going to roll 2 dice. And he is at a 3+, so both of those succeed. We're going to remove those henchmen out of that location. We now have 2 bystander tokens to interact with, so we're going to do that with both of them. Here's 2 tokens, 1, 2, and we're going to interact with both of these bystanders. The first one is the Blue Room Youth Group. Reveal the top 3 special cards and place them face up next to the deck. The next 3 times a special card is drawn, choose one of those face up cards. So we're going to do that now. There's the first one, Buying Time. Then we have Never Give Up and Police Support. All right, and we're gonna remove the second bystander token and draw another bystander card. This one is a college student. You may exhaust one action token to take a picture with your new fan. If you do, draw 3 ability cards. So I guess we'll do that. It's kind of like Full Throttle, so we'll do that right now. We're going to exhaust an action token and we will draw 3 cards. We are going to deck out. So we have Adhesive Foam Grenade. All right, we shuffled our deck back up. We're gonna draw the second card, which was Full Throttle. And the third card is a Critical Overload. Now we're gonna cash in both of these cards in order to draw a special card. And actually it does give us the option to choose any one of these 3. So we are going to choose Buying Time. It says play on your turn, reduce the Mastermind track to -1, and we're actually going to use that right away. And we are going to take the Mastermind track back to start. And we're just going to exhaust this last token here because we are going to make an attack on Fright Train with Wraith and Legacy next turn. And we're just going to go right into the villain phase. We're not going to take any damage. There's no henchmen in that location. And actually we do have 14 cards, so we're just going to remove 2 of those. So we discarded 2, and now we are going to draw up the 2 cards here. We have Critical Overload and Omniblast. All right, Wraith is going to flip over to her personal life and use her ability. So we're gonna go ahead and make some moves. We're going to move Legacy over to location number 15. And we are going to move Wraith over to Fright Train's location. And we're gonna go ahead and move Bunker over here into location number 28. And I decided to change my mind again and just place her at Montgomery Industries instead. We are going to use 1 action token in order to use her recover ability. So we drew 3 greens and 2 reds. We're going to keep the 2 reds and get rid of the 3 greens. Then we're going to flip over to hero form. And we're going to use an action token in order to remove 1 henchman here. We're going to use another action token in order to move into that location. We'll use another action token in order to remove these 2 henchmen. And then we'll just forfeit the last action token and move on to the next turn. So we're going to draw our 2 cards. We have Combat Prowess and we have Micro Targeting Computer. And we're going to draw our 2 scheme cards. The first one wants 1 green henchman at number 8 with a bystander token as well. So let's find number 8. Number 8 is over here. We're going to put the bystander token over here. And the third step is 1 red henchman, and we're going to move the red villain to 30. So we're going to place a henchman here, and once again, we got a card that moves Fright Train in no direction. So he's just going to stay right where he's at. And he will place an Anarchy token in his location. He would deal damage through his path, but he doesn't have any path. He's just staying right there. And we have Running Out of Time, which we now accumulated 3 of those. So we are going to cash those in for the villain, and we are going to move the Mastermind track up by 1. Next scheme card, and this scheme card wants 2 green henchmen on 14. And that's over here, and that's actually going to overflow. So this will not go anywhere because the green villain is actually defeated. So it will overflow on the other ends, on the adjacent locations, however. The third step here shows 1 yellow henchman. So we're going to move 1 yellow henchman over to number 9 right here. And scheming, if there are 3 or fewer Mastermind tokens in the city, choose a villain or Mastermind and place 1 on their location. So we're going to go ahead and place a Mastermind token on Fright Train's location. And now for Legacy, we're going to flip over to Personal Life, and we're going to Sense Danger. So let's take a look and see what the next card is. This one does have a Mastermind token that would be placed, so we're going to remove that and discard it from the game. We're going to use a personal task action and discard a blue ability card at Hero HQ number 15. So we're going to discard Inspiring Presence. And we are at location number 15, the Freedom Tower. So we are now going to discard that personal task. The personal task action does require an action token, so we're going to use the action token for that. We are going to use another action token to move over to location number 13, which is Megalopolis University. We are now going to use an action token in order to perform a personal task action at location number 13 as well. So we have 2 actions left. I'm going to flip over to hero form. We're going to use the team up ability here that says play at any time, choose any 1 location and move any number of heroes there. So we're going to move Legacy and the Wraith over to that location in the corner there with Fright Train, and we're going to both attempt to attack Fright Train. All right, so both Legacy and Wraith have committed their cards. Legacy committed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. So he will get 9 dice against Fright Train. And Wraith, she committed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, along with combat prowess. So we're going to turn off the counter strike of Fright Train, which says after all attacks are rolled, each attacking hero suffers 2 unblockable damage. All right, so before we can attack Fright Train, there is still that 1 henchman hiding behind Wraith. So we're gonna go ahead and attack the henchman. And we get the Legacy die to do that as well. And we remove that henchman successfully. And now Legacy is going to roll his roll against Fright Train. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 damage. The other 3 dice are 2s and 1s. So we're gonna see if we can change this. We have a ton of Surge of Strength. So if we use one of these, we would change these to a 3 and a 2. If we use another, we would change it to a 4, a 4, and a 3, which would make them all successes. So we would defeat Fright Train with the help of the combat prowess from the Wraith. We are going to remove Fright Train from the game. Take these damage tokens off. So quick oversight, his defense does say when a hero rolls an attack on Fright Train, they subtract -1 from each die. I forgot about that. However, I have 2 more Surges of Strength anyways, so I'll discard this other Surge of Strength to show it's still legit. All right. Now we're going to flip the card over to the defeated side, and we'll take the rewards. This time around for Legacy, we are going to remove all red henchmen from the city and remove all red anarchy tokens from the city. and then flip them. And I believe I said remove all red henchmen. If I did, I apologize. It says remove 6 red henchmen from the city. So we're going to remove the anarchy token. And we're going to remove 6 red henchmen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which essentially is all of them anyway. So for Wraith, I'm not going to draw any rewards from her because the wording on this does say attacking heroes may take 2 rewards. They must be different rewards. I'm not sure if it means that each attacking hero takes 2 rewards, or it would be 2 rewards throughout, no matter how many heroes you use to attack. So I'm going to use the Grim rule, and I'm going to make it worse for me and just say that it was 2 rewards in total and not 2 rewards for each hero. And that's how we're going to do it moving forward until an FAQ gets put out for that. With that said, we have all 3 of the villains defeated. That will put another 7 damage on the mobile defense platform and destroy it. So there is an effect that occurs when the MDP gets destroyed, and that says if the damage on the MDP equals or exceeds its durability, immediately flip this card. So we're going to flip the card, and an explosion rings out and the mobile defense platform begins to fall from the sky. The effect is the MDP is destroyed. Remove the token and roll a die. On a 1 to 4, it's going to crash to the ground, doing massive damage. Move Baron Blade to a random location and remove all henchmen and tokens there. Every hero and villain in the city, including Baron Blade, suffers 2 damage. On a 5 and 6, the Baron is able to transfer power to his other tech before the MDP destabilizes and advance the Mastermind track +1. We're going to go ahead and roll this dice. And we got a 3. And it's going to be destroyed, doing massive damage. So we will move Baron Blade to a random location and remove all henchmen and tokens there. Let's draw a scheme card to determine the random location as the rules state. And we're going to move it to location number 7. So he's going to go from location number 3 over to location number 7, the cavern. He is going to lose the mobile defense platform, so we're going to remove that from the game. And he is going to then deal every hero and villain in the city, including himself, 2 damage. All right, so we're going to remove 2 of these henchmen here. All right, for Wraith, she drew these 2 damages, so she can't use any blue or yellow ability cards. For Legacy, he cannot use any red or yellow. And for Bunker, he cannot use any blue, and he also gets one of his action tokens stolen. All right, so the Baron has crash landed at location number 7. We are going to move on to chapter number 3. And there are some effects to keep in mind here. The first one is when a scheme card moves a non-mastermind villain, you're going to roll a dice. On an odd number, place the mastermind token in their destination in addition to their movement ability. Then we have Master Plan. If the mastermind track reaches 10, immediately flip Baron Blade's card to the mad scientist side and resolve his master plan effect. The chapter 3 objective obviously is defeat Baron Blade. The Justice rewards say you may discard a Justice card from your rewards pile to roll +2 dice when resolving an Anarchy or Mastermind token, or roll +2 dice when fighting a villain. And the end of turn of phase is each henchman in your location, of course, deals 1 damage, draw 2 ability cards, draw 1 scheme card, and fully resolve it. So we're back to normal here. At the very bottom, it does say here, only turn the page when the heroes win or lose a scenario. All right, and Legacy's turn is over, as his last action was to make the attack on Fright Train. And we're going to move over to Bunker. He's going to go into his hero form, or I'm sorry, he's going to go into his personal life, And he's going to use his tactical planning, and if we get lucky, we might be able to get over to Baron Blade and beat him on this turn right here. So we're going to choose one hero to draw 3 ability cards and keep all cards of one color, and then move to any location matching the color they choose. So Bunker could be the MVP here. Let's see what we get. My best shot is to do it with Bunker himself, as we just got done doing an attack with both Legacy and the Wraith where they used up all of their red cards for the most part. So I doubt that either one of them are going to have red cards in their deck. So the plan here is to see if we can get out of these 3 cards at least 1 red card, so that way we can move over to Baron Blade's location and then fight him. So we're going to draw our 3 cards. We got an Omni Blast. We have a Full Throttle, and we got a Critical Overload. So we are going to remove the Full Throttle and the Omni Blast just to get the Critical Overload card. And we are going to move Bunker to the red location. And so far so good. This is where it's going to get tough, because if we don't defeat him here, we lose. So his HP is 3 + 1, so 3 heroes plus 1 is 4, and then he has 1 additional health from the henchmen, so we do need 5 to defeat him, which shouldn't be hard. So we're going to flip over to our hero form into Bunker, and we are going to make the attack action on Baron Blade right now. So these are the cards that I'm committing for the attack. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a Justice card. The only Justice card that he was able to get. And we are also going to use Critical Overload, play before you roll dice. Each 5 or 6 that you roll counts as 2 successes. Suffer 1 unblockable damage for each 1 or 2 you roll. So there should be no way that I miss this. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. We're going to roll these dice. All right, and we definitely did it. Our tech stat is 3+. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 damage. So we did the 5 damage, and he had 5 health. So his health was H + 1, 3 + 1 is 4, with the henchman is 5. So 5 on the dot. We also had 1, 2, 3 5s and 6s, which would have counted as 2 successes anyway. We got 2 1s and 2s, so we would have suffered 2 unblockable damage for a total of 4. However, we did beat Baron Blade, and the game is now over. We won. All right, so for the victory phase, we have Baron Blade stopped. With the Baron unconscious, you deactivate the Terra Lunar Beam Cannon. The battle was grueling, but you narrowly prevented the destruction of Earth. The team races off to the island prison known as the Block to deposit the Mastermind. It's going to take a while to repair the damage to the city, but Megalopolis is safe, at least for now. We're going to open envelope number 2, which we already went ahead and did. So this envelope has augments, and I decided to attach these augments. This is actually going to happen in the next scenario. You're going to assign an augment to each hero, but I did that right now. We have Technical Study for the Wraith. It's going to help her with her tech stat. Then we have Indomitable Will for Legacy, which is going to help him with his spirit stat. And we have Physical Training for Bunker, which is going to help him with his body stat. Each one of these is just going to add a +1 to each die for each of those attributes. And then we did complete the side quest as well, which is going to give us Miss Amelia Twain to the allied deck. And we all know who she becomes later on, but she is going to be coming along for the ride. All right, guys, so that was scenario 2. This one I thought was going to be a little bit quicker. It probably wasn't. After I do all of my editing and everything, it's probably going to be a little bit long as well. I'm still working on this, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless. Hopefully get better at all of this over time. This game, when I play it without recording, it doesn't take me that long. But this took me quite a long time to do. So I appreciate all the support once again. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video for scenario number 3, maybe in about a week or two.